So, we have an interesting story about, well, you could say tech censorship, but not in the classic way, which is incidentally why there was no video yesterday. YouTube didn't like my video, so unfortunate. Anyway, Elon Musk is saying this is war. Exclusive documents working with Matt Taibbi will report on CCD hate. It's basically a sort of front organization for British advisors to Kamala Harris, right? Documents showing the Labour Party's political front's objective is end Musk's Twitter through advertising focus, meaning harass his advertisers. See internal documents provided by a whistleblower. Election exclusive, England, not Russia, is the culprit in a real foreign election interference story, as the leaked the stateside plans of an advisory group with close ties to Prime Minister Keir Starmer show. If you want to see more of this, you can see the entire thing in Disinformation Chronicle on Substack. And Elon Musk also tweeted this: CCDH is a criminal organization. Leaked documents from the Center for Countering Digital Hate, like I said, it's a British organization linked to the Tories, reveal, not to the Tories, to the Labour, reveal their primary goal is to end Musk's Twitter by targeting advertisers and leveraging EU regulations. I have the thing here that he was tweeting, and it's 2 pages, so we'll get through both. This is the internal monthly planner. Their goal is also to trigger regulatory action, though they are a tax-exempt non-profit. Annual priorities. First point, end Musk's Twitter. Advertising focus, trigger EU and UK regulatory action. Progress towards change in USA and support for STAR. I have no idea what STAR is. I wonder, is it some sort of long-term plan for censorship? Anyway, so it also says here that set up meetings with Klobuchar's team to seek a quote/press release endorsement is one of the points here. So, in short, you have the EU, you have the British government, and you have people in the American government all trying to work together to end Musk's Twitter. This is the third point, right? CCDH held a private conference with a slew of liberal groups organizing against Musk, including Biden White House, Congressman Adams' Chief's office, Biden-Harris State Department officials, Canadian MP Peter Julian, and Media Matters for America. It's not just that, you can see the entire list here. United Nations Population Fund. So the UN is working towards ending Twitter. Right, Child Fund. What does a child non-profit, I believe, have to do with any of it? Canadian House of Commons, Peter Julian. Reset.tech, I have no idea, never heard of him. Media Matters, Center for Countering Digital Hate, Media Matters. European Institute for Gender Equality. Honestly, like a lot of the gender stuff, I'm talking about the ideologues and the activists, not just like random people who happen to be gay. I'm talking about people who do political activism on the basis of gender and gender expression. 99% of them, in my opinion, are just woke and working for censorship and for the interests of big business under the pretense of helping people along the gender thing against discrimination. They claim to be for something that you really have no reason to oppose. Of course, I don't want people to be discriminated against just because they happen to be gay or lesbian or whatever. But they just use as an excuse to censor you and punish you for not being one of that community. Like the amount of places now, both large corporations and governments, that discriminate against straight people is amazing, especially straight men. European Institute for Gender Equality, like I said, Center for Countering Digital Hate has a bunch of people here. Children and screens. Okay, so you say children are spending too long against in front of screens. Is that the whole thing? And then somehow that means we need to end Twitter. Issue 1, what's that? US House of Representatives. Amazing. So the US government. Center for AI and Digital Policy. What does AI have to do with destroying Twitter? Mothers Against Media Addiction. Yeah, I agree, media addiction is terrible, and it does happen quite a bit, but like in the modern day and age. But again, it's just a smokescreen for political activism. Ford Foundation. Yes, the Ford Foundation will help end Twitter. Minderu Center for Tech and Democracy. If it has democracy in the name, it's almost certainly against democracy, let's be honest. Like it's just another woke activist organization. Department of State. Even the email is state.gov. Seriously, you have state employees using the official state email, like the official state account for official business only, to engage in a conspiracy to destroy Twitter. And that's fine. That's legal. No problem at all. And the tech transparency project, because we all want more tech transparency. I'd like to know what kind of algorithms go into AI, into social media. I'd very much like to know what they do with search engines, how they bring me the interesting results that don't really give me what I want lately. Like it's been years since I could, just Google something and find the relevant information instead of just mainstream media nonsense. So obviously, because I want those things, I should support the tech transparency project that wants to destroy Twitter, right? No, it makes no sense, because none of this is actually serious. It's all smokescreens claiming to be for the right things and then using all the money and power you acquire in order to enact a political agenda, specifically a tyrannical one, with more authoritarianism and more censorship. Woohoo. Obviously, I really need to make an X account. I probably will soon too, and just post videos there as well, if it actually goes well, maybe exclusively, because yeah, it's very difficult to talk about anything on YouTube, and that's why they want X taken down. They want Elon Musk's Twitter taken down. I gotta say, I was a bit suspicious of Elon in the beginning, especially because of things like Neuralink, which don't particularly sound like something that a liberty-minded person would want. Like, yeah, again, it sounds so benign to help people who are, unable to move their body properly with the Neuralink. But then you think about, well, what's the next rollout of the technology? Just put it in everyone for convenience. And then, yeah, very, very dangerous. But on the other hand, Elon Musk has shown that he's not just very competent, he's also committed to supporting the free speech party, the freedom of movement party. Like, seriously, all of those basic freedoms are being under attack by the same people who want to close Twitter right now. The UN, the Democrats, the Labour, like, they all openly talk about how, for the sake of climate change and fighting against misinformation and all that sort of stuff, we've got to restrict your liberties to a very great degree. And if you don't have extreme trust in institutions, then you find it suspicious at best and downright dangerous at worst. And so, seeing who he surrounded himself with, like he's working with RFK Jr. and Trump, and who is against him, I can say that I now have a lot more confidence in and support of Elon Musk. I think he's doing a great job. He's not just successful in his other businesses, like the SpaceX. He had a very successful launch relatively recently, but I think he's doing well with Twitter as well. I mean, the advertisers are what I guess stopping it from being really, really free speech, because he has to comply to some extent to get some advertiser on from a financial standpoint, I guess, which is exactly what they're going to pressure him through in order to try and force him to abide by the very, very restrictive community guidelines they have. It still baffles me that we allow this. I mean, the whole point of Section 230 giving a protection against liability to social media was that they basically claim we are the public square. We are not editorializing. It's not our speech. Like, if you publish a newspaper and you're the editor, or you're hiring someone to edit for you, then you're deciding what is and isn't allowed to be printed, not just in terms of quality, but in terms of opinions, which means that it is your First Amendment speech. So you're liable for anything said there in that newspaper. If you publish a piece on a newspaper, I can not just sue the person who wrote the piece, but also the newspaper itself if there's anything illegal there, if there's some sort of slander, libel, etc. On the other hand, on social media, I can't to the social media platform because they claim we are not editorializing. We are not the First Amendment speaker here. We are just a public square. At the same time, they go, no, we have community guidelines that tell you specifically what you are not allowed to say on pretty much every political issue. You basically, how to put it, have to at best water down and at worst just avoid talking about pretty much all the hot topics of the day. And Elon Musk is way less restrictive about it, so they hate him. They hate his platform and they want to close it. They are outright saying it, and they're colluding not just one government, but pretty much all of them. Like you have the what was it, Canadian or Australian one? I always forget. The Canadian government, the US government, the UN, the British government, and a slew of non-profit organizations that have nothing to do with freedom of speech or social media at all. Like the Child Fund Foundation, woohoo, the Tech Transparency Project. It's just truly baffling that they can get away with it. Like, we need to have a database of all of these organizations and then just try and see any project that they are involved with, we should shun, and any, how to put it, anytime that they do anything that is remotely illegal, we should have people ready to sue them for it. Just engage in lawfare, because that's what they do to us, honestly. They basically have people dedicated to this fight that's day in and day out, pile on the lawfare and try and, cancel people that go against their narrative. And I guess you could say that we don't want to become like them, but honestly, I disagree with the idea that hitting them the same way they hit us is becoming like them. We'd become like them if we did it to anyone who disagrees with us. Instead, I think that basically you should fight fire with fire, I'm very much against just going randomly and shooting people, but at the same time, if someone shoots at you, not shooting back is stupid. So if canceling people just disagree with you is bad, but not canceling the person who's trying to cancel you for trying to cancel you, I don't think that's smart. Well, that's just my personal opinion. I think that's enough for now. Thanks for watching, like, comment, subscribe, and take care.